Vitaly Ioffe calls his protests an attempt to live in peace with myself. The activist agitates Russians not to sign contracts with the Russian military of defense, despite the fact that Ioffe has already been repeatedly detained and fined by law enforcers. The man does not intend to give up his anti-war activities. And the protest on 12th of August, the anniversary of the Kursk nuclear boat disaster, is yet another reminder to the people of the Federation that the Kremlin despises the country's citizens.
It's worth noting that back in year 2000, our president, in an interview with Larry King, when asked what happened to the Kursk submarine, he replied, "It sank. Now Russia is being drowned in blood. Who's drowning it? The one who joked about the submarine back then." On the 12th of August, it was 23 years of Kursk, and there were no governors or admirals at the Serafimovskaya cemetery. In the press as well, almost no mentions. That's it, nobody needs them, just like those Russians who are now dying in Ukraine for money or for an idea. They think they will not be forgotten, but they will be just as unneeded. Vitaly Ioffe, Russian activist, in an interview with the publication Current Time.
Ioffe's wife and daughter do not support the Kremlin regime. The family realizes that they are already looked after by the security services. Meanwhile, in Krasnoyarsk, 48-year-old Vitaly Alexeyev, chief inspector of the Siberian Electronic Customs, was detained on the case of assisting the Legion of Freedom of Russia. He is accused of having allegedly joined the Legion chat rooms on the social networks on August 30th and then began to distribute their leaflets in Krasnoyarsk. The cases against Alexeyev are open on calls to terrorism and assistance to a terrorist organization.
As of today, there are 19,580 detentions for anti-war stands. Since 24th of February, there are 7,430 administrative cases related to discrediting the armed forces of Russia, and there are 662 people who are prosecuted under criminal articles. Every day this figure does not decrease, but becomes bigger. Russians do not stop protesting in different forms.
The most common articles are fakes and discrediting the Russian army, less frequently treason and attempted terrorist act. Despite the Kremlin's effort to tighten the screws on the citizens of Russia, people still continue to protest in various forms: pickets, protests on social media, or arson attacks on military recruitment centers.
One of the forms of protest that was the most common this weekend is anti-war inscriptions on election ballots. People who do not recognize this pathetic semblance of elections come and take the ballot and spoil it. But the Russian Federation has criminalized everything, maybe except breathing air, as long as you can do it. There are no taxes on it yet.
Today in Russia you can get a criminal sentence for absolutely anything. At the same time, experts believe that we should expect more protests in the near future. They link this to the upcoming second wave of mobilization in Russia. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Yulia Hranovska, UATV News.